hopefully. So, hello and welcome to Learn English Network. This is the reading session in Virtual Worlds, advanced reading, and today we're going to be reading the poem The Lady of Shallot by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay. Now, as I say, it's set in near Camelot on the island of Shallot, and the Lady of Shallot is a beautiful young woman, and she's not allowed to look at Camelot. She's not allowed to look out at the world. She can only watch what's in the mirror. She can only look at reflections of the mirror. If she looks at Camelot, she will be cursed. Okay. Shiny, I don't know. Is Shiny online? Oh,
Yes, she
okay.
she was
I'll
with
send
me.
her a teleport then.
Okay.
I'll send her. I did send the notification out, and you should get it. And Tough Guy's figured it out, so Shiny should have figured it out. But maybe she's making herself a cup of tea. Okay, so Camelot, of course, is famous for what? Yes, Camelot, King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table. Yep, that's it. Chivalry. That's why I've changed the name of this particular sim to Chivalry. Here she is. Thank you, Rima. Thank you. Hi, Shiny. Can I hear you? Can you hear me, Shiny?
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Ling.
Hi,
Hi.
hi.
So much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank Rima. I hadn't realised that you were online and you hadn't joined us, so... Okay, so I'll just reiterate. Today we're going to read the poem The Lady of Shallot, which is set in King Arthur's Camelot, but on an island, the island of Shallot. And the Lady of Shallot is a young woman who's imprisoned, and she's cursed that she's not allowed to look at Camelot, even though it's so close. She could almost touch it. She's not allowed to look at it. She has to watch it in a mirror. Everything she has to look at in the outside world is at a mirror, okay? And she's working on a magical web, okay? Now, the name, the Lady of Shallot, is repeated in this poem. It's like a mantra, okay? And it's a very haunting poem. It's not a nice, happy poem, okay? It's a haunting poem. And nobody actually knows of her or who she is, but because it's so close, that the island of Shallot, and it's separated by this flowing river, but it's very close, and they can hear her singing, and that's why she's called the Fairy Lady of Shallot. Okay, and she's weaving a magic web, but she knows that if she looks at Camelot, she'll be cursed. And so she only ever looks into a clear mirror that reflects the people of Camelot and the castle. And she's living in this almost shadowland. Not haunting, haunting. A haunting poem. A haunting song. It's something you remember even after it's finished. You're haunted by it. A haunting memory. Something you can't forget. Okay? I'm going to steal the chocolates back, I'm afraid, Rima. Sorry. Valentine's Day is over. It's nothing to do with ghostly in this case. Yes, of course, we normally say that ghosts haunt places, but something can be haunting just because it's a lasting memory, a sort of slightly tinged with sadness, a memory slightly tinged with sadness, okay? You prefer forgetting about ghosts? Absolutely, quite right. Okay, Pratik hasn't managed to join us yet. Pratik's back online. Let's see if we can get him back in. Pratik, are you with us? Yay, Pratik. Okay,
So
Pratik.
finally I have
Yeah,
joined
well
in.
done. I honestly, if you look at the top, if you look at the information, this is a general sim. So I don't know. You might want to go and ask on the forum. Oh, Shiny, could you move a little bit? You keep shoving my head up your skirt. It's really not something I want to stream. Thank you. No need to go too far. It just looked very inappropriate. Okay, Pratik. I'm going to get Eleanor to start reading the poem, Pratik, and then you'll be second. And if you want, if you missed the preamble, you can watch it again on YouTube. Okay, you're all right, Shiny. Don't worry. Okay, so let me put up the different. I'll give you each a verse to read. Okay. So, Eleanor, if you'd like to start reading first.
Okay. On either side the river lie long fields of barley and of rye that clothe the world and meet the sky. And and through the field the road runs by to many towered Camelot, the yellow-leaved water lily, the green sheathed daffodilly, tremble in the water chilly round about Shallot.
Very
Very
good.
beautiful.
Yeah, you can imagine it, can't you? I mean, Tennyson was very good with words. And also playing. You know how I say to you, play with words? Yeah? Then it's very important because when we play with words, we don't take them too seriously. And he doesn't say daffodil, he says daffodilly, even though it's a daffodil. Okay, I'm going to stick a bunch of daffodils here. Okay. And he says daffodilly, and purely because it rhymes. It fits better with his poem. Never mind the word. Make it fit to the rhyme. It rhymes with lily, so we'll call it a daffodilly. Okay. And you said throw the field. It's actually the apostrophe there. It is and through the field the road runs by. That apostrophe says, oh, we just want it to fit in. So we'll make it and through the field the road runs by.
What is the apostrophe D here, Lynn?
Just
The
missing
too
E.
many tower?
Yeah, towered. In other words, there are too many towers. The many-towered Camelot. Okay, so lots of towers. He's changed it into the many-towered Camelot. It's sort of like an adjective. And if you look at Camelot in the distance, you'll see all those towers and spires. It is many-towered Camelot. Yeah? Is that okay, April?
So it means that Camelot has a lot of tower.
Towers, yes. Many, many towers. That's what it was famous for.
Towers.
And it also begs the question, you know, if it had that many towers, how come nobody's found any of them? Okay, Mars, no problem. So, Pratik, are you ready to read? Oh, by the way, beautifully read, Eleanor. No corrections. Well done.
Yeah, I'm ready. It
Excellent.
seems a little difficult, but I can try.
Yeah, it's not easy, but remember it's a poem. Okay, so poems are very good for pronunciation, especially poems, the sort of classical poetry that rhymes. Okay, that will help you. Okay, and this is a rhyming poem. Okay, give it a go.
Okay. Willows, weekend, expensive, some bloom showers, and the stream that runneth the island in the river, flowing down to Camelot, 4 grey walls and 4 grey towers, overlook a space of flowers, and the silent is embowers the Lady of Shallot.
Okay, well done. Okay, so we've got Camelot and Shallot. Okay, Camelot, try it.
Camelot,
And Shallot.
Shallot.
That's it, good. Okay, that's the ot. It's important because then it rhymes. Okay, and the other one is isle. It's a small island. So island is a silent S. Yeah.
Isle.
And so
Okay.
isle is also a silent S, yeah?
Okay.
Good.
It's I'll.
Yes, it's good.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. Oh, bear with me a second. Sorry, I've messed up that. Always a problem with cut and paste. Always a problem. So I'm trying to put the text into the books and poetry section. So, any questions?
Embower, what is that, please?
Okay, a bower. If you think about what a bower is, yeah, it's sort of when plants grow together, climbing, okay. But if you embower somebody, it's like it's enclosing you. So you can imagine that her area is just grown over with ivy and trailing roses and... Can you imagine it? She's embowered, the silent isle. So this island is enclosing her. It's quiet and there's only her there imprisoned. And so she's sort of caught there, if you like, okay? Is that okay, April?
Okay, maybe.
Okay,
So,
maybe.
is it really?
You're looking it up, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't find it. It
If
doesn't
you-
exist in my dictionary.
Yeah, well, you throw it away. It is a word, okay? It is a word. And it's another way of spelling embower. Maybe if you looked at it in embower. To cover, surround with foliage, or to be sheltered, okay? But in this context, because of the use of the word silent, then you can see it as more prison-like, if you like. Yeah?
But it is really that you are enclosed by plants
Normally
and
because of
flowers?
the word the
Or is
bower.
it-
If you look up bower, then you'll see it's like a way that plants grow, okay? A bower.
Because here they said, and the silent isle embowers. The silent
Yeah, the
isle.
silent isle. The island she's imprisoned on, yeah? So it's the silent isle. There's no noise there. It's only her there. She's very alone. Very...
So I was thinking maybe the silence is
Yes,
the one
it's
that
using it sort of
embowers.
metaphorically, that she's...
Okay.
And probably the island, and you can imagine by the use of the word embowered that maybe there's ivy growing on the tower, there's lots of plants there, but there's no people there, there's nobody there for her to talk to, and it's silent, okay? Which can be a prison of its own. Runneth is a little bit of oldie worldy Englishy. My cup runneth over, and it just means to moving, okay, like to run. A river runs, okay, and runneth is just a Shakespearean bit of English to say it's running fast, it's flowing, okay, Pratik?
Okay, I got it now.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, April, are you ready to read?
Okay.
Okay. Have you got it? Don't forget to unmute.
Sorry. Okay. Underneath the bearded barley, the reaper, reaping late and early, hears her ever chanting cheerily, like an angel singing clearly over the stream of Camelot, piling the sheaves in furrows airy, Beneath the moon, the reaper weary, listening whispers, "'Tis the fairy, Lady of Shallot."
Very good. Be careful of that weary again. Weary, not wary. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I know it doesn't rhyme with airy, but you've got the fairy rhyming with airy, and then you've got Camelot Shallot. So, and we've got the clearly weary. Yeah. So it kind of rhymes. Then you've got barley and early, and then cheerly and clearly. So you can force the words to rhyme, but you don't really have to. Okay, and or I know there's the missing letter there, but in poetry and in oldie worldy Englishy Shakespearean-y stuff, we do tend to say or for over. Okay, because over has two syllables, over, but or has just the one. So or the stream of Camelot forces it to fit into the rhythm, the pace of the poem. Okay?
Okay.
It's a bit mean, I know, but it's again playing with the words, forcing them to fit. Lots of songwriters and poets do this. Okay? Any questions? No? Everybody happy? Tough guy is typing away like mad. I'm wondering if he's either at work or if he's stuck. I keep waiting for this I don't know, I'm expecting a thesis now because he's been typing since he arrived. I know. Ah, well done, tough guy. You've stopped. Oh my goodness. Okay. You can switch off the typing animation, by the way, because remember, any animation will put a strain on your bandwidth, and you can switch off typing animation, especially if you're at work and you're answering messages or chatting to somebody else in another thread, whatever. Type it. You can turn it off in preferences. I think it's chat and communication or something. You're stuck. Oh no. Chill out. Yeah, exactly, April. Okay, next person to read is Rima. Rima, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, there's your text.
The little isle is all unrailed, with a rose fence and overtrailed, with roses by the marge unhailed. The shallop 50th silken sailed, skimming down to Camelot. A pearl gaunt winds her head. She leaneth on a velvet bed, full royally apparelled, the Lady of Shallot.
Okay, well done. Okay, she leaneth on a velvet bed, full royally apparelled. Ooh, royally apparelled. Any idea what that means, to be full royally apparelled? Any guess?
Very splendid ornaments, royal ornaments. It was
Yeah,
so
basically dressed as if she's royalty. Okay? Royally apparelled. So try it, Rima. Royally, for starters. Like royal,
Okay.
royally, turns into an adverb.
Royally apparelled.
That's it, good. And a pearl garland winds her head. I'm not 100% certain. I think I heard you say winds, but winds. So she's got pearls wrapped around her hair.
Yes, I said wind. Yes.
Yeah, I thought you had, but sometimes I'm typing and I'm not sure. And that's where I get this idea of the bower, by the way, April, because of course I've read the poem before many times. So you've got the roses and it's enrailed with it's sort of enclosed by the river, the water. It's all cut off from everything else, and a rose fence and roses growing everywhere. Okay, so we've got the daffodillies in the river, and we've got the roses, and that's where a bower of roses is quite beautiful, if you can imagine walking down a bower of roses. So we've got these two things indicating that it is very overgrown, this island. Okay. Any questions?
And the shallop fleet silken.
Yes, a
So how is
shallop
it?
is any kind of it's not a word you're probably going to need unless you become some kind of go into rowing or but it's any kind of vessel that can be rowed or under your own power, a shallop. Okay. Sailing, rowing, shallow water,
Like canoe.
two-masted, gaff-rigged vessel of the 17th and 18th centuries is a shallop. Okay.
But what is fleet silken?
Okay,
Silken
again.
like it's very smoothly.
Okay, watch out for that us. Okay, we've just had one, runneth, remember? And that us, again, oldie worldy Englishy. So flitteth, flits. Oh, really? Interesting, Eleanor. So
Yes,
it's
yes, we pronounce
flitting.
it chalupa. Yeah.
It's flitting,
Around
as
it.
in it's moving. If something flits from place, butterflies flit because they move quite jerkily and swiftly, and they dart or skim along. So it's a fast-moving little boat. Okay.
Fast moving.
Fast moving,
I
yeah.
thought
And
silken
light,
maybe.
not heavy, just lightly
yeah.
flitting along. Yeah, like a child when it's skipping along the road. They're flitting. They're just not going anywhere particular, and they're just very light, flying. And yeah, flitteth is just the old-fashioned way of saying to flit, flitting, flitteth. You wouldn't like runneth. Okay. So, keep that image in your minds, okay? This little boat, okay, on the river, and flitting down the water. Okay, any questions? Next person to read is Tough Guy. Tough Guy, are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent, okay.
No time had she to sport and play. A charmed web she waves all way. A curse is on her if she stay her weaving, either night or day, to look down to Camelot. She knows not what the curse may be. Therefore she weaveth steadily. Therefore no other care hath she, the Lady of Shallot.
Yeah, remember Shallot. Shallot.
Shallot.
That's it. It's got to rhyme with Camelot, the Lady of Shallot. Okay, very good. Nicely run. And again, you notice here we've got a charmed web she weaves away. Now, why? It is charmed, by the way. In normal English, you would say, I'm charmed. Yeah, she charmed me. But here, because of the syllables, suddenly we've got no time hath she to sport and play, a charmed web she weaves alway. To make it fit, this is the playing with English I keep telling you about. Make it fit your poetry. Doesn't matter what the rules are. The joy of not caring about the rules. And even notice she's got weaves and then weaveth. Again, is to make it fit. She weaves, single, okay, and then therefore she weaveth steadily. Suddenly you've got the eth instead of weaves to make it fit. Okay, and just to correct, hath, anybody know what does hath mean?
Has.
Yeah, depending on how it goes in. In this case, it's she has. So she hath. Hath is has. Any questions?
No.
Next up, it will be my question, my answer, Slim, if I make mistake, to make it fit.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. You've got your pass. You've got it. You've got your pass to do whatever you want with English. You can just say to me, Lynn, it's just to make it fit.
Yes, so we never made mistake before. It was we
Absolutely, it was
tried
just to
fit
make it fit. Okay, now just to confirm, I've had no questions. I'd just like to see if you actually know what this means. A curse is on her if she stay, her weaving either night or day. What does that mean?
Stop.
Yes. Often you hear the word to stay, and you think of like staying in a hotel or staying in a city, staying in a job. In this context, it has another meaning. It means to stop. Weaving. Okay. Well, when you go back to the Learn English Network, the main sim, okay, go into the cottage and you'll see a loom where you can do some weaving, okay? So when we finish the session, pop back to Learn English Network, the main sim, go into the little stone cottage, past Stonehenge, into the cottage, have a look in the living room and you'll find a loom where you can do some weaving, and there's a spinning machine there as well, okay? Okay. So next person to read is Moz. Moz?
Yeah, steady me. They're from the
Ready.
Oh, hang on. Stop. Tough guy, could you mute, please?
Okay.
Sorry, I can hear everything
I
you're saying. It's
have to
okay.
come back.
It's fine. It's just I didn't think you realised you had left your mic open. Okay, so Moz, here's your text.
Thank you, Lynn. She lives with little joy or fear over the water, running near. The ship bell tinkles in her ear. Before her hangs a mirror clear, reflecting toward Camelot, and as the mazy web she rolls, she sees the surly village churls and the red cloaks of market girls pass onward from Shallot.
Yeah, from Shallot. Not Shallot, Shallot.
Shallot.
Yeah, Camelot, Shallot. Actually, could it be Shallot? No, it doesn't sound right. It kind of flows better to say Camelot, Shallot. Yeah.
Camelot.
I might be wrong on that one. And well done, you get a smiley. Beautifully read. Perfect pronunciation. Just tinkles, which you corrected yourself. Well done. So
Thank you, Lynn.
now, do you know what the sheep bells were doing tinkling in her ear? What noise were they making? Anybody? If something tinkles in your ear? Something tinkles.
Yes, it's like a bell or something like that.
Ting, 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 ting.
You
No?
need to
Yeah, that's no. Reema's got it. Okay, bells make noises, but if you think about Big Ben, it doesn't tinkle. It bongs, bong, bong. But if something tinkles, if a bell tinkles, it's a very light sound. And Zarima said, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling. Yeah, even a cowbell might tinkle, but it might bong, because they can be pretty hefty. I mean, dong, ding dong, I would say a cowbell makes the noise ding dong. Church bells can make the noise ding dong or bong, depending on how big they are. I've got some little bells up on the flat roof, and when you walk past them, they tinkle. It's like little fairy bells. I love them. They go ding-a-ling-ling. And if you think about wind chimes, again, they can ring or they can tinkle if they're very small and they've got a high-pitched sound, okay? Yeah, it's a kind of sound bells make, but one kind of sound bells make, because bells make lots of different sounds. Maybe we should do another session. We've done colours and sights. Maybe we can do a session on sounds and smells at some point, because there's lots of different types of sounds that even a bell can make. Okay. Any questions? And if you notice here again, playing with this language, let me see, where does she say? Over the water. Suddenly it's not o'er the water, it's over the water, because it fits. I'm dreading the next session when I correct anybody, because they're just going to go, it's to make it fit. Not a mistake, Lynn. Okay, so next person to read is Shiny. Shiny, are you with us? You sort of slumped over there.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, just to confirm, the Surly Village churls. Who's he talking about here? The Surly Village churls. Open question. Yeah, young men. Not so much boys, young men. You know what young men can be like as teenagers? They're like full of themselves. Take everything. They take themselves very seriously. Yeah, that's what she's talking about. That's what he's talking about there. Young men. Not boys. Boys tend to be full of joy and fun and mischief, and then they turn into teenagers. And then they turn into lovely young people. So it's more teenagers, yeah, more teenies. Sorry, guys. I'm sure you went through your teenage years and your mothers would agree with me. Shiny, here's your text.
Sometimes a troop of damsels glide and a boat on an ambling path. Sometimes a curly shepherd lad or a long-haired page in crimson clad goes by to towered Camelot, and sometimes through the mirror blue, the knights come riding two and two. She hath no loyal knight and true, the Lady of Shallot. Shallot.
Yeah, well done. Well done. Okay, so a couple of little words. Damsels glad. Glad, to be glad about something. Here it's just saying happy, merry, laughing girls, basic. Damsels is a bit like churls, but nice. Churls, nasty. It's like what a little boy's made of, what a little boy's made of. Slugs and snails and puppy dogs' tails, that's what little boys are made of. What a little girl's made of, what a little girl's made of. Sugar and spice and all things nice, that's what little girls are made of. So you get surly churls, but gay damsels. Happy damsels. So, damsels glad. Try it, Shane.
Damsels glad.
That's it. And the abbot. Abbot.
Abbot.
Okay, what's an abbot? Anybody know?
Yes, it's in the abbey, a priest, but it's superior.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what the female equivalent of an abbot is?
Abbess, I think.
Abbess, yeah, that's it. So it's basically the head of an abbey is an abbot. Okay. And
More than priest, yes, it's a function.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And an abbess is a woman who's the head of an abbey of nuns. Okay, like get thee to a nunnery. It's a religious function, yeah, but slightly different to priest. It implies a higher, like being the boss. He's the boss of a monastery, with double S at the end, abbess. Yeah. I mean, if you like Game of Thrones, you know, shame, shame, shame. She was probably an abbess. Yeah, Mrs. Shame, shame, shame. One of my favourite GIF memes. It's very useful to post up when people do shameful things. Not that I'd like to judge, but sometimes you can't help it. Okay, any questions?
Ambling, what is that, Lynn?
Ambling, yeah. Now, an ambling pad, I would think it's a cushion that's being carried by people, abbots being that kind of a person. So a pad is like a cushion, an ambling pad probably some kind of conveyance. I can just imagine a fat abbot basically, so being carried by churls. Okay, but ambling in itself, without being used as an adjective, is just to walk, to amble, to walk aimlessly, slowly as well, to amble, okay? But it's a bit like being used like sleeping bag. Yeah, it's not actually an ambling pad. I don't know if it's actually got that function or if they ever existed, but knowing the two words. Oh yeah, define ambling pad. Okay. Oh, it's just about, yeah. The only time you'll get an abbot on an ambling pad is answers.com. Oh, it could also mean that he's standing on it and ambling as in speaking. That's true, you could do that, yeah. But to amble is actually to walk, to stroll around. Okay.
So an ambling path means that the what was that? The path is where you walk is quite high or quite soft or what?
No, nothing
soft,
to do
yeah.
with the path. It's more to do with how you're walking. You're just
okay.
walking very slowly, relaxed. I mean, I go for a walk with hubby. I'm not ambling. I'm trying desperately to keep up with him. If I'm walking on my own, I amble aimlessly. Okay. Now here it says the head of the monastery on a lazy old horse, an ambling pad, but I don't know how they know that unless they spoke to Mr. Tennyson. But maybe, yeah, just a very slow walking horse. It could be. Or it could be a cushion being carried by people and just, too lazy to actually walk himself. But who knows? I don't know. Either way, it's a metaphorical use of the words. Okay, but if you look at them separately, to amble, to walk slowly and aimlessly, and a pad, a kind of cushion, yeah, that's how I view it, that he was being carried on a cushion. But maybe he's on an old horse, who knows? Open to interpretation, okay? Any other questions? Has everybody read? I think everybody has read. I've got my little list. So we're back to...
Sorry, Lynn.
Yes, Rima, yeah.
Does it mean maybe sometimes a Kali shepherd lad that this priest was carried by this shepherd Lad.
No, no, well, to me, again, remember, poetry is open to interpretation, but to me, it's just describing the different types of people she sees in her mirror. Sometimes it's the girls all laughing cheerily, sometimes it's the old abbot, sometimes it's a curly shepherd lad, so a shepherd boy with curly hair, or it might be a page. Does everybody know what a page is in this context, by the way? I meant to ask that. A page? A long-haired page?
Yes, young boy. Yeah, young boy saving
Yes.
knight.
That's right. A page would be like, they want to be a knight, but they're too young, so they go like, it's like an apprentice to a knight. They look after the armour, they look after the knight, their sort of daily needs, like a servant. Yeah, they're young boys, young men, again, a long-haired page. So nothing to do with a book or a sheet of paper. This is an old job. You don't get pages anymore. Actually, I don't know. Does Buckingham Palace have pages still? Do you know what? Not rubbing shoulders with the great and good of the UK, I do not know. But maybe maybe Prince Charles has got a page boy, often called page boy, if you want to look it up. Yeah, a page boy.
Perhaps the toothpaste
A toothpaste squeezer, exactly. That's what I'm thinking, Eleanor.
Yeah,
a page boy
it
to
was
squeeze
my
his
dream
toothpaste. Okay.
My dream job, yes, but I won't get it. Yeah, I'm so disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Life is full of little disappointments. Okay,
Yeah,
Eleanor,
it is.
are you okay to read then?
Oh, yes, it's my comfort.
Excellent. There you go. As a consolation.
Yeah, indeed, great consolation. But in her web she still delights to weave the mirror's magic sides, for often through the silent nights a funeral with plumes and lights and music came from Camelot. Or when the moon was overhead, came two young lovers lately wed. I am half sick of shadows, said the Lady of Shallot.
Very good. Well done. Very good. Perfectly read. No corrections. Any questions?
This is easier, I think.
Yeah, I
Very
think
difficult.
the meaning is clear in this particular verse. That and when she says, "I am half sick of," sorry, April. Yes.
Yeah, I'm half sick of shadows. Said who said that? The lady,
The lady,
or the
yeah,
young couples?
No, the Lady of Shallot. I am half sick of shadows, said the Lady of Shallot. Otherwise, the Lady of Shallot's there on its own with nothing to do. There's no point to it at the end of the poem. I know what you mean. If you didn't have the Lady of Shallot, you could say, came two young lovers lately wed, I am half sick of shadows, said. That might imply they both said that. But they're newlyweds. They're not going to be saying miserable things like that. And what does she mean when she says, I am half sick of shadows? What do you think she means by that?
She lives in shadows, so to say, so she had enough of her life.
Yeah, she's fed up of looking at life in a mirror. Imagine if you just watched life on television and never actually interacted with... I mean, some people do, lock-ins. They just watch life through their window or on television or on the internet even. And it's not a full life, it's a half-life, a life of shadows. All you see is images, nothing to interact with, you know? So she's kind of, you know, you could almost see her as a modern person sitting tapping on the internet. Falling in love with people she's never met and will never know. Yeah? Let me see, Eleanor, you asked... Oh, sorry, no, Moz, you asked plumes. A plume? A plume and plumes. Do you want to try it, Moz? Plumes.
Plumes.
Very good. Yeah, not to be confused with plums, which are fruit. Plums. And a plume of feathers is a very popular pub name. You will see it because Prince Charles's, I nearly said King Charles, ooh, spooky. Prince Charles's emblem is a plume of feathers. Yeah, there's like, you can see, like ostrich feathers, I think they are, from the days when people thought they were exotic. Smelly birds, ostriches. Good, good. Any other questions? No? Okay, let's see what happens next. So, Pratik, are you ready to read?
I am.
Excellent. Here's your text. Oh, you've got a great background in the recording of Camelot behind you. There you go.
A bow shot from her bower apes, he rode between the barley sheaves. The sun came dazzling through the leaves, and flamed upon the brazen greaves of bold Sir Lancelot. A red cross knight for ever kneeled to a lady in his shield, that sparkled on the yellow field beside remote Shallot.
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 It's okay. It's really difficult when you're reading it.
Yeah.
When you hear it on its own or read it on its own, it's fine. When you're reading it in context, your brain takes over and that's it. You lost it. Very good. So, Red Cross Knight forever kneeled to a lady in his shield. Okay. And of course, here we have Sir Lancelot. Does everybody know who? And beautifully read, by the way, Pratik. Just the one word: Bower Eaves. Bower Eaves.
Bower Eaves.
Yeah, eaves are like if you look at a roof and you look at what's supporting the roof, that's the eaves. Okay. The wooden structure supporting the roof. So the bower eaves is the wooden structure supporting these plants that are growing, the roses, etc. Now, Sir Lancelot, does everybody know who Sir Lancelot is?
Everybody.
Is it the youngest? Yeah, the youngest knights.
He's not actually the youngest, no, but he's one of the most famous knights. And if you've read Le Morte d'Arthur or any, if you've watched Merlin, actually I'm not sure if in Merlin Lancelot's there. I think he crops up. But if you watch anything, the films about Camelot, Richard Harris's one's fun. Then Sir Lancelot is the knight who falls in love with Guinevere, okay, and that's why it's saying about his shield, and the lady he loves is Guinevere, okay. A red cross knight forever kneeled to a lady in his shield, bold Sir Lancelot, okay. And well done, by the way, Pratik, for bow shot. Well done. I was waiting for bow and you didn't do it. Yes, a bow shot. In other words, within reach of an arrow. Okay, so if you shot an arrow, you would be able to hit this place. It's that close. Not to touch. You couldn't touch it. It's too far to touch, but you could shoot an arrow to the place. Okay? Any questions?
So it is a bow shot from her bower eaves.
Yes.
Two different bow.
Yes. Bower bow. A bow shot from her bower eaves. Yeah, very close to her, very close by, but not close enough to touch. Still got that feeling of being isolated, yeah? Okay, so April, are you okay to read?
Yes.
Okay.
The gemmy bridle glittered free, like to some branch of stars we see, hung in the golden galaxy. The bridle bells rang merrily as he rode down from Camelot, and from his blazoned baldric slung a mighty silver bugle hung, and as he rode his armor rung besides remote Shallot.
Well done. Just bugle, not bugle.
Ah,
Bugle.
bugle.
Bugle, yes.
Bugle.
I like Buggle. I like the idea of Buggle. In fact, I think there are some children's characters called Buggles, but it's actually Bugle. Okay. Do you know what a bugle is? Have you ever heard a bugle?
No, I haven't.
No.
Okay, have you ever heard the flag being taken down by an army? Quite often there'll be a bugler.
I see.
That's a bugle. Okay.
Herald? Something like that?
I think it's called taps or something, but it's like a little brass trumpet, but it's small. Okay. But it's like a little trumpet, a little bugle. Really difficult to play.
And a jemmy is full of gems?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, that one. A bridle, okay. Bridle is on a horse. So, yes, I would say it means jewel-covered, a jewel-covered bridle. Bejeweled, you could also say. Gemmed is a really weird one because when I first read it, I thought, because it's also a tool used in burglary. But yes, gemmy bridle, glittered free. The glitter gives you the clue that it's bejeweled or covered in jewels. Okay, well worked out, April. Well done. And again, here we got the bridle bells rang merrily. Another context of bells in the poem, another kind of sound bells make to ring merrily. Okay. And here he comes, basically. Here comes Lancelot into her life. Ooh. I mean, she's basically not got much of a hope, has she?
And you said that Lancelot is falling in love with Guinevere, and now he's here with the Lady of Shallot.
Yeah, but does he know
How
he's
come?
there? Well, we don't know. Let's find out. I might just be riding along, as you do. You know, you go walking along, you ride along, you're driving along. You don't know who's watching you, who can see you. He might be completely innocent. Okay, so next is Rima. Lady in every castle. So Rima, are you ready to read?
Yes.
Okay, here you go.
All in the blue unclouded weather, thick jeweled shone the saddle leather. The helmet and the helmet feather burned like one burning flame together as he rode down from Camelot. As often through the purple night, below the starry clusters bright, some bearded meteor, trailing light, moves over green Shallot.
Very good, well done. Just 2 words, okay, not starey. We have got the verb to stare, and you can be starry-eyed when you're staring and your eyes aren't blinking much, but this is starry, as in lots of stars in the sky. Okay, try it. Starry.
Starry.
Yeah, and one of April's favourite songs, Starry, Starry Night. I knew it! I could see she was typing any minute now. It's going Starry, Starry Night.
Starry Night.
Starry Night,
Yeah.
yes. That's the danger of going to too many sessions. I get to know exactly what you're going to do. And then another thing to do with space, meteor, a meteor. Some people say meteor, but meteor, okay? A meteor. Okay.
I would say
Meteor.
meteor.
I wouldn't say mateer because
Meteor.
mateer would sound like somebody being friendlier, like he's very matey. He's mateer. So let me just have a look for the. Am I meaty? I might be being unfair. Let me see what Google says. Okay. Oh, my computer slowed right down. I don't know why. Okay, there's two. Both being me, though. Meteor and meteor. Okay. Meteor, meteor. I'll accept those, but not mateor because of the propensity for being misunderstood. Yeah. So try it, Rima. Meteor or meteor. Take your choice.
Meteor or meteor.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, very good. Ooh, bear with me a second. Oh, I've got a little bit of slowness on my computer here. That's what happens when you're streaming. It's always dangerous. So, next person to read. Tough guy, are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. Here's your text. Good luck with that last but one line.
His broad clear brown in sunlight glowed. On burnished hooves his war horse trode. From underneath his helmet flowed his cloak black curls as on he rode. As he rode down from Camelot, from the bank and from the river, he flashed into the crystal mirror. Tyra, Lyra, Tyra, Lyra, sang Sir Lancelot.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so just one little thing. Coal black curls. His coal black curls. Oh, hang on. What do you think that means? Do you want to just say it, tough guy? Coal black curls?
Coal black coats.
Yeah, what do you think it means? What do you think it's trying to describe? His coal
Okay.
black curls? Oops.
Now, 1 second, let me read it again. His hair?
Yeah, that's it. His hair. From underneath his helmet. So he's got a helmet on his head and his hair's cascading. Because guys back then, they had long hair. And he's got long, black, curly hair. Okay, and he's completely oblivious that he's being tara, lira, sang Sir Lancelot. Okay, very good. Well done. And well done, Rima. Yes, his hair. Any questions? Tara, just a sound. And notice trode. Do you know why he wrote trode? Any guesses why he wrote trode? Oh, Eleanor, I can't hear you. Are you speaking?
No, I have forgotten to
Oh,
turn
it's
off
okay.
my-
It's okay. I thought you were
but
answering
it's,
and I couldn't
trotting.
hear you.
Yeah,
Panic.
but it's simply about a kind of horse's steps trot.
Yeah, normally be trod.
Trotting.
Trode
Yeah.
rhymes with glowed and flowed and rode. So a horse
But
has a
I
different
think
tread.
it was trotting. Just. Am I right?
You might be.
Yeah.
But normally to tread it means to step, yeah? To tread, to step. And trod is the past. He trod. So the horse trod. And I wouldn't necessarily say trode. Maybe it does exist, I'm just looking, but I haven't seen any word saying trode. It's normally trod. So to tread, past participle trod. He trod. Sorry, past tense trod. Trodding, no, I've not. Treading, I would say. Treading.
Yeah, treading, it was my fault.
Okay, I mean there is trode as in Tennyson, obsolete spelling of trod. Okay, in other words, Tennyson wrote it in a poem to make it fit. It became a word, and then nobody else ever used it, so it's become an obsolete word. That's how these classical writers have messed with the English language for many years. And you can do it too. If they can do it, so can you. Okay, Moz.
Yes, but if I do this, I will be told that
It's wrong.
Yeah, it will be the end of it.
Yeah, but no, you just have to be able. You have to be competent enough to defend it. And if you get it published, it becomes right. You know what publishing's like, Eleanor? Get yourself published. You write the language. If it's not published, or if it's on my forum, it's wrong.
Yeah, so the next generation will learn Eleanor's English.
Exactly. Oh yes, Eleanor Minotaur, her classic poetry, her classic. It's about. I mean, look what Shakespeare did. He practically
Jamaica.
invented half of the English language to make it fit. Not to trade, to tread. Oh, please do sit on my tummy, Eleanor. I hope it's comfy. Oh my goodness. Oh, kiss a kiss. That will only
It
make
wasn't
sense if you watch the
intentional.
stream.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, by chance.
Oh dear. The
I do
VIP
apologize.
seat. Well, I don't
It's
know.
it's
Rima's
something-
already bounced up
something
and down.
happened.
Rima's
It
already
is
landed
the
on my
amount.
belly.
Kitely, you're going to gym, so your belly
I can
is so
take
strong.
it.
So
Absolutely, I can take it. Okay, so oh gosh, where were we? Shiny, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
She left the web. She left the room. She made 3 paces through the room. She saw the water-flower bloom. She saw the helmet and the plume. She looked down to Camelot, out through the web and floated wide. The mirror cracked from side to side. The curse is come upon me, cried the Lady of Shallot.
Very good, well done. Just one word, quite important though. To see. Saw. She saw, not sew. Sew is when you have cloth and you put thread and join them together with the thread and the needle. That's to sew. So saw.
Saw.
That's better. Good. So, and then that little bit where just a little bit of intonation here, because of the word cried. I know you're reading it cold, but the curse is come upon me, cried the Lady of Shallot. So repeat that line and make it sound as if she's really frightened. Oh no, the mirror has cracked from side to side. The curse she's been dreading is there. It's about to get her. So try and put a bit of emotion in. Try it.
The curse is come upon me, cried the Lady Shallot.
That's it, yeah. Well done. Yeah. Oh no. I'm cursed. I'm doomed. Doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, but is it then to make it fit, Lynn? The curse is come? Because we
It's
can say the
more
curse
old,
comes
it's
upon
more,
me.
No, it's
Oh.
more literary English. Okay. The curse is here, but that's a bit meh. It's a bit meh. The curse has come upon me. The curse has got me. But yeah, it's more literary English. Yeah. So she couldn't resist it anymore. She heard him, she saw him, the most famous knight of all Camelot, and looking at him in the mirror wasn't enough. She just turned her head and looked out of the window, and that was it. Crack. Any questions? Blame Lancelot. Well, you could say that, but you do have to take responsibility for your own actions. Lancelot didn't say, "Look at me, or I'll chop your head off with my big sword," did he? No, and she'd already said, "I'm fed up of this." So it was. I think she made an informed decision. What issues? I think she has lots of issues, Shiny. Okay, so let me think. I think everybody has read again, so we're back to Eleanor. Eleanor, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
By the way, it was trotting. I confused.
Okay. That makes more sense. Yes, to trot
trotting,
is the
yeah.
movement that a horse makes. Yeah, as they're trotting along. There's walk, trot, canter, gallop. I think when you're looking at movement of horses, depending on the speed. Okay, so yeah, trotting is between canter and walk. But yeah, this is definitely from trod and trodden and all that stuff. Okay.
Okay. So start. In the stormy east wind straining, the pale yellow woods were waning. The broad stream in his banks complaining, heavily the low sky raining, ever towered Camelot. Outside the isle, a shallow boat beneath a willow lay afloat. Below the cavern stern she rode, the Lady of Shallot.
Oh, okay. So this is where we suddenly remember. I said to you, remember this picture, the boat. Okay, so how come she's in a boat? Well, this is where she ends up in the boat. Okay, afloat, below the carven stern she wrote, not craven. Okay, so 2 words. I think I heard caven. So here we are. First word, broad, not broad, broad.
Yes, broad. Carven, yes.
And carven,
yes,
as in from to carve.
Yeah.
And again, a little bit of poetic we've got a saying, by the way, poetic license. And it's a genuine saying, poetic license. Okay? And it means I can do this because I need it for my poetry. Sorry, license, as in S. And dramatic license as well. So any artist deviating from a rule, if anybody challenges you, just say, I'm using poetic license. Okay? And the carven stern, she wrote, basically she's carved into the stern of the boat. Does anybody know which end of the boat the stern is?
In front of it.
Yeah, it's the other end.
Oh,
it's the back end. When you're talking about boats, to be stern means to be very serious. I mean, I hope I'm not too stern as a helper helping you learn English. I try not to be stern, but some teachers can be very stern. They never laugh and they're always telling you off. That's to be stern. But a stern in a boat is the back end of the boat. The front end of the boat, Eleanor, is the prow. You always use poetic license. Well, now you know what to call it, Rima. Okay, very nicely read. Oh, you haven't read again yet. Sorry, Mars. I'm so sorry. You have to warn me when I do this. I try and tick off things as I'm getting people to read. But yeah, I do make mistakes, as you know. April, what was your question?
Waning or waning? What is that, Lynn?
Waning. Yeah.
Waning?
Straining.
What does it mean?
Again, before I give you the meaning, it's a poem. It rhymes. So you've got straining, complaining, raining, the guess is going to be that it's waning, okay? Not warning, okay, waning. Waning is normally used when you're talking about the moon, to wax and wane, okay? And it means to become less and less visible, okay? It starts to decrease in size or become weaker, okay? So you've got this idea of some kind of decay, weakness, death. Okay, April?
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome. Okay, so Moz, let's go to Moz because Moz missed out on the last lot. So here you go. Moz?
Thank you, Lynn.
Okay, sorry.
It's alright, Lynn. Across the white crown of her, she died, and raimented in snowy white, that loosely flew her zone inside, clasped with one blinding diamond bright, her wide eyes fixed on Camelot, though she squally east wind keenly blew with folded arms serenely by the water stood queenly, Lady of Shallot. Thank you.
Very good, well done. Okay, so let's just have a look at a couple of words here. You said she squally. The. Not she. She can't be squally. Squally is a kind of weather, squalls of rain and wind together. Okay, so not she. The. So say it. The squally east wind keenly.
The she squally
No,
east
no.
wind
Ignore the
keenly.
she, not she. The squally east wind keenly. That's what you read. You read she. I should have put not she. Okay.
Okay. The squally east wind keenly.
Yeah, keenly. Try and get that E. Keenly.
Keenly.
Yeah. If you're talking about a keen wind, it's a biting wind. It's a wind you really feel. It's an uncomfortable feeling. Keen. A keen knife is a sharp knife, okay? So it's like a cutting wind. And then you've got serenely and queenly. Again, long E. Try them both.
Serenely, queenly.
That's it, yes, queenly. As in, again, apparelled at the beginning. Apparelled like a queen. Okay, apparelled in a regal way. Dressed like a queen. Okay, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
No, well done, nicely read. Questions, anybody? And how would you describe somebody masculine? Would you say queenly?
Kingly.
Kingly, yeah, exactly. Exactly, kingly. Oh, dight means, it's an old word again. It means clothed, okay? So basically, she's dressed in these raiments, garments, apparel. Don't you love all the words we have for clothing? And we can also say regally, okay? Regal, if something is regal. Okay, that can then be male or female. Regal, just very, very dignified and a little bit sort of grand, regal, okay? Okay, now I've completely lost my thread now. I think it's Pratik to read next, am I right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I've just completely thrown myself. But Eleanor, you read before Moz, so yes, it must be Pratik.
Yes.
Okay, Pratik, here's your text.
Okay. With a steady stony glance, like some bold seer in a trance, beholding all his own mischance, mischance, mute with a grassy countenance, she looked down to Camelot. It was the closing of the day. She loosed the chain and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away. The Lady of Shallot.
Very good. Well done. Now, be aware that we've got a couple of words here. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, I've put that in the wrong place. I've given that to you and it's Eleanor's. Bear with me a second. Okay. So we've got at the beginning, again, this is a poem, glance. So try it, glance or glance. I don't mind.
Glance,
Yeah. Trance,
trance,
mischance,
mischance.
and
Yeah.
then countenance.
Countenance.
Yeah, the way you look, your face, your expression on your face can sometimes be called your countenance. So you've got all those words. And again, what do you say? Ants or aunts? And I'd say glance, trance, mischance. Then I'd have countenance. And I think, no. So obviously he was from up north and he'd say glance, trance, mischance, countenance. Okay. Then she looked down to Camelot. Okay.
Okay. Camelot.
That's it.
She looked down to Camelot.
Very good. And a bold seer. Seer.
A board shield.
Seer. Somebody who sees. Okay, bye, tough guy. Thanks for coming.
Zero.
Yes. Somebody who sees. Often people who say they can see into the future are seers. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not saying they
Like
can,
some board.
is what they call themselves. Supernatural vision of the future. Yeah? A seer.
Zero.
Yeah, very good. Well done. Any questions?
Countenance is
Well, here you've got mute with a glassy countenance. Okay, so glassy-eyed.
Is that a facial expression?
Yes, your countenance is how you look. Yeah? A kind countenance, but a glassy countenance indicates, what might it indicate, a glassy countenance? Well, what happens when
old.
What happens when you die? Your face loses expressions, your eyes go glassy. So there's an indication of death here. Okay? So you can say that she's basically not showing any emotion at all. Glassy countenance. Okay? Okay, so April, are you ready to read?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
As when the sailors while they roam by creeks and outfalls far from home, rising and dropping with the foam, from dying swans wild warblings come, blown shoreward, so to Camelot, still as the both had wound along the willow hills and fields among. They heard her chanting her death song, the Lady of Shallot.
Very good.
I was expecting still another ending with and then it stopped with the poem.
Poets can mess about with you, but what we've got here is boat head wound along, not wound. Wound is like an injury. To wind, wound, and it shows how a river winds. Yeah, so the boat isn't just going; it's following the flow of the river. The boat is being taken. She's not rowing the boat. She's not steering the boat. She's lying in the boat singing her death song. Okay, so boat head wound along. Try it.
Both had wound along.
Yeah.
Wound along.
Yeah, remember the bandage was wound around the wound. It is sad, yeah. And then the willowy hills, gentle hills, the willowy hills.
The willowy hills.
Yeah, so maybe on the banks of the river we've got some willow trees. I don't know if you know the weeping willow. The weeping willow it often grows by riverbanks in the UK and in Germany actually. I've seen them here, and it grows at the side of rivers, and the leaves, the branches and twigs of the weeping willow, they bend towards the water. It's like they're bowing into the, you can imagine that there's this romanticized idea of what's happening because it's Tennyson. Okay, next is I think we're nearly done. I hope everybody's got time. Rima.
Okay.
Got time? Okay.
A long-drawn carol, mournful, holy, she chanted loudly, lovely, till her eyes were darkened wholly, and her smooth face sharpened slowly, turned to towered Camelot, for era she reached upon the tide the first house by the waterside. Singing in her song she died, the Lady of Shallot.
Very good. So before she even reached the first house, the first people, she was dead. Okay. And well done. You did lowly, because you suddenly realised, oh, Oli, holy, lowly, slowly, it must be lowly. Okay, very good. Any questions? No? Okay, then let's move on quickly.
I feel depressed.
Yeah, sorry. Moz, I'm not missing you this time. Here's your text.
Thank you, Lynn. Under a tower and balcony, by garden wall and gallery, a pale corpse, she floated by, dead cold, between the houses high, dead into towered Camelot. Knight and burgher, lord and dame, to the planked wharfage came. Below the stern they read her name, the Lady of Shallot.
Ooh, you nearly got it perfect, but you changed read to read. They read her name. Yeah, they came, so it's the past. So they read her name. Okay, the past. You have to keep everything in the same tense. Okay. Perfect, well done. They read her name. Where she carved it. Okay. Which takes us to Shiny. Are you ready to read Shiny?
Yes.
Excellent. Then here's the last line of the poem.
They crossed themselves, the stars they blessed. Night, minstrel, abbot, squire, and quest. They lay a parchment on her breast that puzzled more than all the rest. The well-fed weeds at Camelot. The web was woven curiously. The charm is broken utterly. Draw near and fear not. It is I, the Lady of Shallot.
Very good. Well done. So on her, as she's lying there, drawn up to the wharf of the river, so that she's basically, the boat is stopped by a wharf, which is like a wooden area, and they realise there's a parchment on her breast, on her chest, basically lying there on her crossed arms, and it says the yeah, I'm not sure. I think the well-fed wits at Camelot, they were confused by it. They didn't understand this, what was written there. And it said, "The charm is broken utterly, draw near and fear not, this is I, the Lady of Shallot." The problem is, of course, maybe she was weaving the charm of Camelot, and after that everything went wrong. If you know the story of Camelot, maybe she was keeping it all together, unknown, and now it's all going to come unravelled, the dream of Camelot. Okay, so 2 words for you. The first one, not quest, guest. It looks like a Q, but it's actually a G. Guest.
Guest.
That's it. And the last one, curiously.
Curiously.
Yeah, you know what they say curiosity did?
Be curious.
Yeah, curiosity killed the cat. Exactly, Rima. Yeah. Very good. Well done. And that, I'm afraid, is it. That is the poem. It's a beautiful poem, but as you said, it's very sad. It's a very sad poem. But I hope you enjoyed reading it anyway. Any questions? A cat has 9 lives, yes, but they are, one of the reasons they need 9 lives is they are so curious. They'll look at, go anywhere, do anything. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, there isn't a session next week because it's Easter Monday, but which is why we went through the whole poem today. Okay, get it finished, and we will be starting the week after. We will be starting a new book. Okay. Thank you, Pratik. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I always love listening to you read. And don't forget, the reading was being streamed, so if you want to check my corrections, you can, April. Point out any mistakes I've made. You're quite welcome. I'm just going to stop streaming now if there are no questions. Eleanor. Oh, which one? Which book? Oh, there are so many to choose from. I've got 2 in mind. Okay. One because it's April and this book was published in April, and another because it's a book I haven't read for a long time and it's fun. So I think I'm going to go with the fun one. Okay. And it's a book I read as a child, but do you want to do some pre-reading, Eleanor? 5 Children
yes,
and
usual.
It. Okay.
Oh, I haven't read it.
That's another reason. It's one of my formative books, honestly, but not many people have. It is famous. It's not a classic though, and it's a reasonably short, easy read to lead us into summer, and it's based on a beach and summertime holidays, etc. So I thought it would be a good lead into summer. It's called 5 Children and It. You will find it online. It is out of copyright, so we can start reading that, but in 2 weeks. It gives you a bit of time to do some pre-reading if you like. April, I know you like books, children's books as well. Have you heard of it, 5 Children and It?
Not in English. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I have ever read in other language. I don't know.
Maybe I have
Could it be
read it. Maybe I have read it in another language. It has certainly been translated into other languages, yes, but whether you've read it or not, I couldn't say. Maybe when you start reading it in English, you'll think, oh, yes, I read this, and you can tell me what it was called in your language. But it's a lovely book, it really is, and it's good fun, okay? And then maybe we can do something more serious afterwards. But I thought that because of the book we've just finished, it was so dark, so brutal. I kind of feel I need to clear my brain of it. Oh, Shiny, you always, no, I won't. I won't tell you what the other book is. You'll find out after we've finished Five Children in It, because we'll probably read the other one after that. Okay, but it's a heavier book. It's more of an adventure. But I thought, having read an adventure already, I mean, all books are an adventure, but this one is actually good fun and less brutal than poor old. I can't believe I just forgotten how brutal that book was, Call of the Wild. So I need something lighter to read next. Okay, and on that note, I mean, feel free to stay and chat if you want to. I will see you in the next session. With me will be tomorrow, of course, but Marian's on today, and we've got English Speaking Club this evening, and then we've got Natasha later and Aladdin after that. So make sure you've registered for any sessions you want to join. Okay, take care and thanks for coming. Bye. For pronunciation, especially poems, the sort of classical poetry that rhymes. Okay, that will help you. Okay, and this is a rhyming poem. Okay, give it a go.
Okay. Willows, weekend, expensive, tumbling showers, and the stream that runneth the island in the river, flowing down to Camelot, 4 grey walls and 4 grey towers, overlook a space of flowers, and the silent is embowers the Lady of Shallot.
Okay, well done. Okay, so we've got Camelot and Shallot. Okay, Camelot, try it.
Camelot,
And Shallot.
Shallot.
That's it. Good. Okay, that's the ot. It's important because then it rhymes. Okay, and the other one is isle. It's a small island. So island is a silent S. Yeah.
Isle.
And so isle
Okay.
is also a silent S. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Isle. It's isle.
Yes, it's good.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. Oh, bear with me a second. Sorry, I've messed up that. Always a problem with cut and paste. Always a problem. So I'm trying to put the text into the books and poetry section. So, any questions?
Embower, what is that, please?
Okay, a bower. If you think about what a bower is, yeah, it's sort of when plants grow together, climbing, okay. But if you embower somebody, it's like it's enclosing you. So you can imagine that her area is just grown over with ivy and trailing roses and... Can you imagine it? She's embowered, the silent isle. So this island is enclosing her. It's quiet and there's only her there imprisoned. And so she's sort of caught there, if you like. Okay? Is that okay, April?
Okay, maybe.
Okay,
So,
maybe.
is it really
You're looking it up, aren't you?
Beside the river lie long fields of barley and of rye, that clothe the world and meet the sky. And through the field the road runs by to many towered Camelot, the yellow-leaved water lily, the green sheathed daffodilly, tremble in the water chilly, round about Shallot.
Very
Very
good.
beautiful.
Yeah, you can imagine it, can't you? I mean, Tennyson was very good with words. And also playing. You know how I say to you, play with words? Yeah? Then it's very important because when we play with words, We don't take them too seriously. And he doesn't say daffodil, he says daffodilly, even though it's a daffodil. Okay, I'm going to stick a bunch of daffodils here. Okay. And he says daffodilly, and purely because it rhymes. It fits better with his poem. Never mind the word. Make it fit to the rhyme. It rhymes with lily, so we'll call it a daffodilly. Okay. And you said throw the field. It's actually the apostrophe there. It is and through the field the road runs by. That apostrophe says, oh, we just want it to fit in. So we'll make it and through the field the road runs by.
What is the apostrophe D here, Lynn?
Just
The
missing
too
E.
many tower?
Yeah, towered. In other words, there are too many towers. The many-towered Camelot. Okay, so lots of towers. He's changed it into the many-towered Camelot. It's sort of like an adjective. And if you look at Camelot in the distance, you'll see all those towers and spires. It is many-towered Camelot. Yeah? Is that okay, April?
So it means that Camelot has a lot of tower.
Towers, yes. Many, many towers. That's what it was famous for.
Towers.
And it also begs the question, if it had that many towers, how come nobody's found any of them? Okay, Mars, no problem. So, Pratik, are you ready to read? Oh, by the way, beautifully read, Eleanor. No corrections. Well done.
Yeah, I'm ready. It
Excellent.
seems a little difficult, but I can try.
Yeah, that's it's not easy, but remember it's a poem. Okay, so poems are very good. Nobody actually knows of her or who she is, but because it's so close, that the island of Shallot, and it's separated by this flowing river, but it's very close, and they can hear her singing, and that's why she's called the Fairy Lady of Shallot. Okay, and she's weaving a magic web, but she knows that if she looks at Camelot, she'll be cursed, and so she only ever looks into a clear mirror that reflects the people of Camelot and the castle, and she's living in this almost shadowland. Not haunting, haunting. A haunting poem. A haunting song. It's something you remember even after it's finished. You're haunted by it. A haunting memory. Something you can't forget. Okay? I'm going to steal the chocolates back, I'm afraid, Rima. Sorry. Valentine's Day is over. It's nothing to do with ghostly in this case. Yes, of course, we normally say that ghosts haunt places, but something can be haunting just because it's a lasting memory, a sort of slightly tinged with sadness, a memory slightly tinged with sadness, okay? You prefer forgetting about ghosts? Absolutely, quite right. Okay, Pratik hasn't managed to join us yet. Pratik's back online. Let's see if we can get him back in. Pratik, are you with us? Yay, Pratik. Okay, Pratik.
Finally,
Yeah, well done. I honestly, if you look at the top, if you look at the information, this is a general sim. So I don't know, you might want to go and ask on the forum. Shiny, could you move a little bit? You keep shoving my head up your skirt. It's really not something I want to stream. Thank you. No need to go too far. It just looked very inappropriate. Okay, Pratik. I'm going to get Eleanor to start reading the poem, Pratik, and then you'll be second. And if you missed the preamble, you can watch it again on YouTube. Okay, you're all right, Shiny. Don't worry. Okay, so let me put up the different. I'll give you each a verse to read. Okay. So, Eleanor, if you'd like to start reading first.
Okay. On either side,
Hopefully. So, hello and welcome to Learn English Network. This is the reading session in Virtual Worlds, advanced reading, and today we're going to be reading the poem The Lady of Shallot by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay. Now, as I say, it's set in near Camelot on the island of Shallot, and the Lady of Shallot is a beautiful young woman, and she's not allowed to look at Camelot. She's not allowed to look out at the world. She can only watch what's in the mirror. She can only look at reflections of the mirror. If she looks at Camelot, she will be cursed. Okay. Shiny, I don't know. Is Shiny online? Oh.
Yes, she
okay.
she was
I'll
with
send
me.
her a teleport then.
Okay.
I'll send her. I did send the notification out, and you should get it. And Tough Guy's figured it out, so Shiny should have figured it out. But maybe she's making herself a cup of tea. Okay, so Camelot, of course, is famous for what? Yes, Camelot, King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table. Yep, that's it. Chivalry. That's why I've changed the name of this particular sim to Chivalry. Here she is. Thank you, Rima. Thank you. Hi, Shiny. Can I hear you? Can you hear me, Shiny?
Hi.
Hi.
Lynn. Hi.
Hi.
So much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank Rima. I hadn't realised that you were online and you hadn't joined us. So, okay. So I'll just reiterate. Today we're going to read the poem "The Lady of Shallot," which is set in King Arthur's Camelot, but on an island, the island of Shallot. And the Lady of Shallot is a young woman who's imprisoned, and she's cursed that she's not allowed to look at Camelot, even though it's so close. She could almost touch it. She's not allowed to look at it. She has to watch it in a mirror. Everything she has to look at in the outside world is at a mirror, okay? And she's working on a magical web, okay? Now, the name, the Lady of Shallot, is repeated in this poem. It's like a mantra, okay? And it's a very haunting poem. It's not a nice, happy poem. Okay, it's a haunting poem, and
Yeah, I don't find it. It
If
doesn't
you-
exist in my dictionary.
yeah, well, you throw it away. It is a word, okay? It is a word, and it's another way of spelling embower. Maybe if you looked at it in embower, to cover, surround with foliage, or to be sheltered. Okay. But in this context, because of the use of the word silent, then you can see it as more prison-like, if you like. Yeah.
But it is really that you are enclosed by plants and
Normally, because of
flowers?
the word the
Or is
bower.
it-
If you look up bower, then you'll see it's like a way that plants grow. Okay. A bower.
Because here they said, and the silent isle embowers. The silent
Yeah, the
isle.
silent isle. The island she's imprisoned on. Yeah. So it's the silent isle. There's no noise there. It's only her there. She's very alone. Very.
So I was thinking maybe the silence is
Yes,
the one
it's
that
using it sort of
embowers.
metaphorically, that she's.
Okay.
And probably the island, and you can imagine by the use of the word embowered that maybe there's ivy growing on the tower, there's lots of plants there, but there's no people there, there's nobody there for her to talk to, and it's silent, okay? Which can be a prison of its own. Runneth is a little bit of oldie worldy Englishy. My cup runneth over, and it just means to moving. Okay, like to run. A river runs. Okay, and runneth is just a Shakespearean bit of English to say it's running fast, it's flowing. Okay, Pratik?
Okay, I got it now.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, April, are you ready to read?
Okay.
Okay. Have you got it? Don't forget to unmute.
Sorry. Okay.